we're going to hear from these four wonderful people up on the stage. So, as Matt said, when Matt and Joel interviewed Kim and Smile earlier, we had the privilege of taking a team out last April to visit the Philippines. And some of you in the room now were part of that team. There's Martin came from Trinity and a few of us from Redeemer and a couple from elsewhere. And we were in 35 degrees of heat for the time we were there and a lot of humidity. And so we're experiencing something a bit different here over this weekend. So go on, just if you can introduce yourselves and tell us, just your first time in England, what your favorite things, so I assume it's the rain or maybe the tents, I'm not sure. Just tell us your name and favorite thing about England so far.
My name is Gino, and the first thing I enjoyed in England is the cold weather. So, I mean, we're used to the hot weather in the Philippines, but I really enjoy the cold. So, really enjoy it.
Hi everyone, I'm Louvee, Gino's wife. He also came from the Philippines. First thing, I think, is the warm welcome of family here in UK. Yeah, that's my most favorite thing.
And Louvee, how was that? So we've been here 2 nights. Last night was a lot better, but the night before, very windy.
Yeah.
You survived though.
Yeah, we got through 2 nights. Yeah.
2 more to go.
Yeah, 2 more to go and we're enjoying it. Thank you for having us.
Hello, my name is Smile, and the favorite part here would be people. Seeing old faces, people that we have seen in the Philippines, who visited the Philippines, and even in other nations that we have visited. So lovely to see everyone again.
Hi, my name is Kim. What I like here in UK is the weather. Because in the Philippines you need to pay that. You need an AC, and you need to pay for that. But here it's free, and definitely people. So we have seen many people across the nations. Ben, Sam, and many others. I could not mention the names, but it's all about the people.
Yeah, great. So next time you can be grateful. Okay, next time you think it's a bit cold in your tent or when you get back home, you're not having to pay for AC because it's really lovely and warm. Okay, great. Well, it's so nice to have you here. We do recognise you've left MJ, your daughter, behind. Hopefully, she's having a great time with her cousins and other things that are going on. But that is a cost, and obviously you've left your churches behind. So Gino and Louvee, you're in Caloocan. Can we get the photo just to show? Caloocan is where you guys are. So this is you. This is a normal Sunday morning for you guys. Amazing. And then Viliasis, if we can show the Viliasis picture. This is where Kim and Smile have moved to, which is where we got to spend our first few days when we took a team out. And so Gino and Louvee, would you mind just telling us briefly, how did you connect? We've heard a little bit from Kim and Smile earlier on. How did you come to meet Kim and Smile and get connected in leading a church? Go on, to tell us a little bit about that.
It all started first back in 2015, where one of our college classmates invited us to join the camp, and then I personally joined that camp, and then just like something really changed. Like I forgot about the sessions and the topics, but something just really was stirred in me, like I need to get restored and go back to the church. So Ed Mill was the one who invited me, and from there, relationship and friendship was built because of the warm welcome in the church. So I just really felt like being part of the family, even though it's my first time. It's like the way the conversations were held, it's like we have already known each other for a long time. And then from there, I remember the first discipleship session I had with Kuya Kim, and it happened because I used to stay late because of the basketball game, and then the apartment where I'm staying is gonna get locked. So I was planning to stay on a computer shop until 5 in the morning, but when Kim heard about it, no, stay at my place, and then that's where we started, like, to get to know more about each other, and then that's where the discipleship started. Yeah.
What about for you, Louvee?
Yeah, he mentioned that he got invited with our other college classmates back then in the camp. And when they got back in school after the school vacation, they kept talking about Kim and Smile, that they got a huge house. It's like a mansion. And about the warm welcome of the people, about good food, good friends that they've made during the camp. And so I got curious. So I would say that do not underestimate the testimony that you are bringing after you come into conferences and camp, because I was a fruit of that. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And I can testify to that when we came last year and visited you, we felt so, like the whole team, we just felt so welcomed and loved. And yeah, we just had we're just like family, family together in everything. So you set the bar high when you said yes to coming here when we asked you. Thought, wow, we've got to do a good job at hosting you. So we found the nicest couple in our church with the nicest house to put you in. And we tried to do as many nights just to meet the bar that you have set in how you welcome and look after people. So thank you. So we've had a little bit the last 9 years, planting 7 churches, moving from place to place as a family together. I'd love to hear Kim and Smile. What's been one of the greatest joys in that, and what's been one of the really hard things in that?
What Kim mentioned earlier, I would like to echo on that. It's seeing lives of people change, not by us, but at least through us, because God needs people to really minister to people. And so just seeing people like Louvee and Gino from darkness, just like all of us anyway, so into his marvelous light, and people who don't have any direction, or people who think that they have direction, this is my direction, this is my career path, and just leading them to walk with God, and just knowing their actual calling, their real calling, just being part of that just excites us even more to see more people, whoever God's going to bring to us. With regards to difficulties, that will be transitioning, of course, from one place to another. We need to relocate, and with relocation comes with the mothers here. You know it. You need to build a home. You need to put up things, buy things, and buy appliances and things. And then when we need to move to another home again, we need to buy those things again, because the things that we bought, we need to leave behind to the people we are going to hand over the church. So like for Amber's case, the brother of Louvee, we handed over the church to him in Tarlac. We had to ask him, okay, what do you want? Washing machine or refrigerator? And he said, okay, we'll take the washing machine. We won't put anything in the refrigerator anyway. And so it's like that. And so when we move to another place, we have to purchase and then do a revamp again, and those things. But and then of course there's the people that you leave behind, the people that you just built relationship and then made friends with, and eventually build a family, and treated like a family in them too. And so just those routines that you've made with them, and suddenly it's gone anymore. Just a transition, I think. But of course, God always gives us joy and renews our strength every day. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. What about you, Kim?
I think for me is every church is special that we build. Every families, every friends, and relationships has been stirred up also, and working with. So it's for me it's hard to leave them, you know, because yeah, they are being part of what we are doing on a daily basis. But then again, God gives us the joy again then to see people, new people coming to, to the church, and that God is bringing new family. So He's not replacing, but He is adding. So for me is also they're always looking for us, like people in Bulacan, if they have some issues, so they're looking for us to settle things. So I think those things are hard because we need to travel, across. Those are the things that we want to build in the future, just to gaze their eyes upon Jesus, not on the leaders, and the joy for us is, I think is fulfilling the purposes of God. So that gives us the joy in our hearts, is just to plant churches, to see people come to Jesus.
Amazing. And obviously, if you missed it earlier, Matt said that the vision for Grace City Fellowship is to see 2,000 churches planted on all 2,000 inhabited islands, which obviously that's a lot of islands, and that's a lot of churches, which means a lot of leaders that need to be raised up. And so, Gino, you're one of those that Kim and Smile have invested into, and Louvee as well, and equips and given responsibility to. 2,000 churches, that's a lot of leaders to be raised up. So you've done 7, and I love when I speak to Kim on Zoom. I asked Fusi a couple of years ago to put me in touch with someone in the nation so I could get to know someone who's not in the UK. And I praise God that I really appreciate that Fusi put me in touch with Kim, because I've loved every time we speak on Zoom. You tell me about Marco and how he's doing, and Jerry, and Umber and JC and Edmil and Gino and all these other guys, and the different women that are involved and stuff as well. And your heart for them, and loving them and serving them and seeing them equipped and raised up. So how do you do it? What can we need to learn from you guys on how are you raising up people who are going to take responsibility, who are going to love the church and love the people in the places they go to. Because I know, even talking to you the last few days, you're thinking, oh, maybe we're going to go to this next place, and where's the next place, and where's the next place?
Yeah, probably in my case, we as a church, we are a firm believer that discipleship is relationship. And so in order for us to really minister to people, we need to build relationship with them first, intentionally know them, what they're going through. Because if you don't know what they're going through, then you don't know what you'll be praying for them, and what they'll be needing in the next few days or months that you'll be spending time with them. You might be speaking to them, this is what the Bible says, and this and this and that, but that's not what they need at that moment. And so just speaking to them and just learning what they're going through and being there for them. And even with the littlest things, just messaging them. Now with the technology, it's very easy, it's very accessible to just message people how you're doing, what can I pray for you, and of course in our case also, it's opening our house to them. So when they started, they were just students. So they would come to our home, they would use the internet, they would take a bath there, like homeless people,
They didn't have
but
a
they're not really.
refrigerator. Use the refrigerator, use the
Yes,
washing machine.
access
Yeah, yeah.
everything. And and then they're not attending church. They're just going there at our house, just using everything. And then we're just opening it up, and I think it's really like building family. And then suddenly question starts, and then suddenly they just want to be part of what we're doing. And I think that's what we experienced with them.
Just to add, we had one guy, his name is Marco. He's been a student. He's been living with us for 10 years in our house. So we treat everyone as a family. I think our heart is to see Marco grow and flourish and hand over the church, Villa Sis Church. Now he's doing it. And it's about being intentional. So it's different when we met people in the church, and then we want to be intentional. It's not just we met, oh, hi, hello, send message, and then after the conference, no one will send you message. No one will remember you. But we do it differently. I don't know about the context here, but that's our heart. We want to connect to people, be genuine, pure. It's not just like, oh, how are you? My name is this and that. And then, can I get your number? Can I get your, oh, let's send WhatsApp. And then after that, nothing happens. So our heart is to really know what they're going through. Our house is open 24 hours, 24/7. They can come without any, sending message. They can drop anytime in our house. They could, send us message. Could you help us? Even whatever time. That's why Fusi says like, you guys don't sleep. So sometimes he will message us like 2:30 in the morning because he doesn't because the time gap and busy. I know he's busy. Then why are you still awake? Why are you sending us message? So we will respond. Why? Because we treat him as a family. If he needs something from us, we'll be there. That's how we connect to people. And as we raise them, we want to feel like Gino, Michael, Amber, those we've been raised up, we are here for you. Not in words, not in just message, but holistic. So that's how we build the church, is being intentional and genuine and pure. With all, I mean, love. It's true. There one, um, an elder from, from other nations came to the Philippines and said, you know why they're here at home? Because they just want to escape, chores in their house. That's why they are here. Somehow it's true, but we're trusting God that investment will grow. So you might think like, oh, those people, those kids, is no value in the church, no add at this point, but we don't give up on them easily. So there was a time that we want Marco to, send back home because he's like pain. And I was like, when I was upset, Smile will just no. When she's upset, and I said no. So there was a time like, if you send him back, what will people will say, and what direction will Marco have? So I was just like, okay. And then at that point, again, you will come to God and come, Lord, help us. It's not about our strength. It's not about our strategy. It's not about how we build the church. It's all about, I like what Mark says, like in the prayers, like about grace. So Lord, give us grace to raise up Marco. Give us grace to raise up the church. It's not about us. It's all about you. So we find it easy because we were not relying on ourselves and our wisdom, but we were relying on the Spirit. And then, Lord, help us to build the church.
Yeah, you model that so well. Like what Fusi was sharing this morning about being a family on mission, and we want to model to our kids. And you model to MJ, but also to spiritual sons and daughters, people who are just walking into the church. What does it look like to be part of this family? And you just do a great job with that. So for you guys, you've experienced that receiving end of this family. So what's it look like for you, Gino and Louvee, to be raised up and equipped? What's been your experience?
For me, yes, the emphasis is going to be on relationships, really. My background is I was raised from a broken family, so I never knew about like values of being there for one another, like loving one another. Like in our household, it's frequent that we will shout and curse at each other. We lived apart from each other, like we never really bonded together as a family. That's why, when I attended the church, I felt like this is family. And when I experienced that, it's true, like the household of Kuya Kim and Ate Smile, they're open. And I stayed there a lot. I ate a lot. And I got scolded a lot. But in a family, we do that. I mean, you do not clock like, I'm gonna go to work 8 to 5 because I'm a pastor, and then the rest of the hours I'm off the grid. But in your family, in our children, we take care of them 24/7, and that's what it looks like for us. So what Ate Smile is saying is like, they did not just teach us the Word of God, they really modeled it for us to follow. So that's why it became easier for us, because it was displayed in our lives. And the funny thing is, when Louvee and I got married and moved to another place, so we now have our very own students staying at our place, and then just replicating what they really modeled for us, and then just really investing, that trusting God that He will be the one giving growth to them. So that's
So
how it.
good.
It's the beauty of raising sons and daughters, even spiritual sons and daughters, and we are the product of that. I also came from, I would say, dysfunctional family. Yeah, I was the first. I didn't grow up in the church. I didn't grow up with a believing household. I was the first one in our family who got to know Christ. I have 6 other siblings, and when I got to know Christ in 2016, I also invited my 2 of my younger siblings and then an older brother, Kuya Amber, also attended the church. And another older brother of mine and my mom saw the transformation amongst the children, and they got invited to not long after year 2017. And now my mom, my 4 other siblings are all serving in the church in different church locations in Gray City. So we're now spread out, but not really divided. This time we're no longer divided because we have been united in Christ this time. Yeah, and it's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's so good. And so we got to meet, when we went out there, we got to meet Umber and JC, who are planting their own fellowships and trying to reach out into new areas of their different cities. It's fantastic. And so I wonder then, because we want to take seriously the call to plant churches, and we haven't got 2,000 islands that we need to reach, but I wonder, is there anything that you would do differently next time? So as obviously Taiwan is a completely different culture, but is there anything, lessons that you've learned that you think, I do that differently when we go to Taiwan, or for you, Gino, I would do that differently if I go to Zambales and leave Kalohan? Is there anything, you would change, lessons you've learned?
I think for us, that would be what Kim was mentioning earlier, just emphasizing on that and leading people to really walk with God. Because the tendency is, as we model Jesus, as we model parenting to them, they just look at us and not really look at Jesus. And so when trials come, they would come to us still. And then if the person whom will hand over the church to, they'll just look at them as their kuya or big brother, and we're still the parents, and still when they have a problem, they will still come to us. And I think that's what we have learned along the way, that really to be intentional in really leading people to walk with God, because after all, Jesus is our shepherd, and He's the voice that we should be listening to. It's not really us, but we should be only vessel of His voice. And so we should be teaching them more to hear from God directly. I think that's from...
Yeah, helpful.
I think on my end is that more passion. It's big. The 2,000 islands is very vast. I want more passion and more grace of God. I need that. And even as we discuss about the wisdom, the faith, it's kind of different from going to Taiwan, because in the Philippines it's like it's your own nation, but this one is another nation, new people. We're excited, but then again, the fear of the unknown. But then again, more obedience. We had a word from the Lord, and I was touched when Fusi is discussing about family and the mission, and that's the very thing that Smile brought in the congregation in Dubai about family on a mission. And as we model like our children, and just looking back at MJ, we had a conference, Gospel Advance in Lagro right now, doing simultaneously. And he was sending me a message of the outline of the topic. And then he was just taking notes and then sending to us. This is the topic, and this is what I receive. So it's like, Lord, give me more, of you, the passion to go to Taiwan. But I think that's it.
That's helpful. Thanks. What about for you? Yeah.
For my case, if I'm gonna do something differently, if we're gonna move, the lesson I learned in a hard manner is I should listen more to people. Um, because the first time I moved from Lagro to lead the church in Caloocan, so the church there has a different background, they have their own culture, and then I had my own from Lagro. And I was just impatient, and we should do this because this is how it should be done. So it took 3 long years before the foundation was rebuilt. So if we're gonna keep on moving from different places, like to listen more, to understand the culture, the context, on how we could share the gospel, that it will just really bond each and everyone. Then at the same time, the passion as well, and to really love people, because if you're gonna love them, you're gonna be motivated. Like your fuel or your energy never runs out. So that's what I will do differently.
Yeah, thank you. And so, yeah, thanks. I love that. And I love, actually, I remember reading something just reminded me, like Richard Baxter, this old church guy from a few hundred years ago, says, when you love people and you show them that you love them without like pretense or without any like ulterior motive, then they'll listen to you, they'll hear what you've got to say, they'll take you seriously, and you guys do a great job. So for you then, Gino and Louvee, with Kim and Smile thinking about moving to Taiwan, that's obviously a big loss for you. But like Smile says, she wants people to look to Jesus, not just Kim and Smile. But that'll be how will that affect your partnership, or how do you see that working out?
Actually, I think and I believe nothing will change actually, except from the fact that they will be moving away farther than what they've been moving from one place to another throughout the years. But I believe it's an answered prayer for us, because it has always been a part of the training. It has always been embedded in the preaching messages, in the encouragements, in the local prayer meetings. We have been praying, Lord, give us more desire for church planting, raise up more missionaries, raise up more families after families, raise up more Ephesians 4:11. And this is an answered prayer. So instead of looking at it as a sort of subtraction in the local church, we celebrate the multiplication, because more churches has another church has been planted, or another community is being reached out. And yeah, because in wherever they go, whether in Tarlac, in Villasis, their success is our success too, and we celebrate that as a family.
And you really hear that. So I don't know, Thea, Martin, you remember, but when every meeting we were in the Philippines last year, it came through. We're going to go, we're going to plant churches, we're not going to settle here, we're going to move to the next place. Like every single, whatever the meeting was about, that was always in there somewhere. And so the whole thing of you either get a culture by default or by design. For you, it's definitely by design. You're deliberately going for the vision that God has given you, rather than letting just some random culture vision take place. And so, God, and Kim and Smile, we're going to pray for the four of you in a moment. But just tell us, so we've heard a bit about how the Taiwan plant came about last year while you were in South Africa. And so since then, like you said, a big change of culture, a different country. How's that? Full of faith, full of wisdom, full of the Holy Spirit. How's that going? Full of faith. Wisdom or faith, or have we got everything?
Yeah, definitely. We're praying for it. We have visited it, so we want to visit again. And then it so happened we met Lily. Lily is from Taiwan. So we started to connect with her, and we believe that God will open doors of opportunity. We went to Mindoro before this conference, and we met Normalin, and then they have Filipino who are working in Taiwan. So we started to connect with them, and we want to visit them. And I believe that God is opening doors of opportunity for us. Suddenly, people from Taiwan Filipinos, Taiwanese is linked to us, and there's a strong conviction for us, to go. And I was like moved what I have heard this preaching. So I haven't told to Smile, but we're ready.
Ready when you are.
So yeah, we'd love to pray with you. So maybe some of us will visit when you're out there. Maybe we'll send teams out, but you're the guys who are going to be going and doing the planting, and we'd love to partner you with prayer. Actually, we'll talk about it more tomorrow, but we'd love to partner with you financially. On Monday, we're going to take up an offering. Monday, we're going to take up an offering. Just we want to not just say it with our mouths, but do it with our where it hurts us, with our wallets, out of our finances, just to say we're with you in what God is speaking to you about with Taiwan. And so we're going to take up an offering on Monday for that while we're here. But yeah, we'd love to pray for you. So I wonder, maybe we'll do it. If one of you can go to each corner of the room, and then you can leave your chairs, and we'll just spend 5 minutes praying for Kim, Smile, Louvee, and Gino, just for what God is doing in the Philippines, but what God is going to do north of there in Taiwan. So Gino and Louvee, it is right, you're thinking about trying to reach out in Zambales to the Aita tribes, and leaving Terry and the group leading the church there. I know that's all got it's a journey, but that's kind of where you're going. So they're kind of thinking about where they're moving on to, and same with Kim and Smile. And so, is that all right? So if we can stand, Gino, do you want to go to the back over there? Louvee, do you mind coming here?